Hello and welcome to my return to AOR. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have a good qualifying, starting in all the way in P8. I, stupidly enough, started on the softs instead of the super softs, and it turned out it was an inters race, so that sort of saved me. Anyway, pretty average start. Pure gets a pretty awesome start, ends up having a move on Stuart McKenzie. I'm side by side with Entei, bit of lag, so I'm sort of panicking, and then my brakes decide to implode after being hit. I get hit again into Pure, unfortunately, who ends up losing his front wing on Maznat. Try to go around the outside, unfortunately doesn't pay out, and I get hit onto the gravel trap, and all of a sudden I'm down into P13 off the end of first corner, so not my best start. Up ahead, Kremer ends up ping-ponging off of Grunting and Spilly, and ends up crashing out of the race, and yet again brakes implode into the back of Pure. Try saving the car, all of a sudden I get hit off the track by Grunting. Had a chat with him earlier on, and it was just he had someone down his inside and it ended up shunting me out wide. But to be honest, I'm not exactly that mad considering the fact that I did make a very, very stupid move about 50 metres away from them. Chucky goes off the track and I end up doing him for P11. So I'm outside the points, and it's the middle of lap 1. So unfortunately it hasn't been the best start for me, considering it was a points paying start. All of a sudden, yet again, my brakes just weren't working that race, and I almost make a move on Stewart. Meanwhile, Rumble's gone off the track, and there I'm finally in the points paying position. Go a bit off track, however, I was following Stuart McKenzie, so I did end up mimicking his line, unfortunately. And I decided to make a move down the inside into Parabolica. He ends up running out wide due to front wing damage, same with me, but I end up getting the move done. And up into P9 with Grunting up into P8, he goes a bit off of Parabolica, and all of a sudden I'm ended up chasing after him now. And yeah, unfortunately going up into this corner, there is a bit of an incident right here. Late on the brakes, I knew I was going to be though, so I pulled out. Fortunately I do end up hitting the curb and getting a bit sideways. But luckily enough he doesn't go off the track, and we continue racing. And we're going to stay on board with myself as I'm very close to the back of Grunting. Grunting had one of the better starts of the grid, compared to the worst start of the grid. So yet again on the brakes, this time not missing my braking zone by about 52 metres. And now I'm all over the back of Grunting, and Spilly's desync car ends up pulling to the middle of the track. Grunting goes to the inside, I go to the outside and clean them both. Unfortunately, as soon as I do that, Spilly does a shalakazing and goes straight back up in front of us in a second. As you can see, it's Pure in front. Oh, never mind, we don't get to see it. Oh, there it is, right at the end of it. Haha, editing for the win. But here, as you can see, Pure is just off the track in the gravel trap. He's decided to do some mowing or some Japanese Zen gardening, and is just away and loses so many positions. On the end of lap 4, going off of Ascari, bit of a hairy one, and I get right up to the back of Pure. Unfortunately, due to that front wing damage, he doesn't have enough pace to keep up with the back of to the likes of Entei, and Pure defends the inside. So I decide, you know what, I'm going to go around the outside and clear him into the start of Parabolica. I do get a bit sideways, and he is still there, so the move is not done yet. But however, the traction and my straight line speed can be said to be really good. Pardon me, and I end up getting the move done. Lap 5, yet again, Parabolica. This is where you'll see most of my moves done. He's on the run to, off of Ascari going into Parabolica. Entei, yet again, lacking that straight line speed compared to myself, and down the inside. One of my easier moves of the race. He's still there, so I give him a bit of the push and shove, and he's off onto the green death, and ends up losing the position to myself. It takes me up to lap 9 with a bit of down on fuel to finally catch up to Harry Tamara for the elusive podium position. And as you can see, I get an awesome run off of Ascari, go out wide. Unfortunately, it does end in a penalty. However, the run I get is so extreme that I end up clearing him before going into Parabolica, which is an insane testament to the straight line speed that the Sauber had. But now cutting on to, I've said that a bit early, whoops, cutting on to lap 19. My tyres were not looking at their best. I decided to, on the start of the lap 19, and lucky enough I did, to stay out on 82% tyre wear. just to see if I could last that one more lap. And fortunately it paid off, as right when I pulled into the pits is when it switched over to dries. And on 89% tyre wear, I end up getting the destroyed inters off. I'm putting on the fresh super softs. I do keep the front wing a bit damaged. I was not really thinking in the time of, if I pit, I would have lost too much time to the likes of Entei and Wimpinator in the end of it. And as you can see, just getting out the pits. Run a bit out wide, but that's to be expected on the tyres. But yeah, nothing really happens in the dry conditions. I don't pick up any new penalties. I did have 2, but I don't pick up any more penalties. And as you can see, running a bit on the death with fuel, but going off at the end of the corner, run a bit out wide, but it's all fair. And come across the line to finally pick up my first podium position in AOR. And honestly, I'm so proud of myself, but at the same time I knew that with that came the fact that the only reason I was up there was the inters. Maz and Dubsy, congratulations to them. They were in a race of their own, and I was going on 25 seconds behind them. But I was the closest man to Maznat, which meant I was that P3 position. And lucky enough, I seemed to be best of the rest. And in my blue and white cladded race suit, I managed to pick up P3, my best finish to date in AOR on my return. So you can say it's a pretty successful return. As you can see here, Dubsy P1, Maz P2, myself P3, Wim P4, Entei P5, and Pure in P6. Pure Gold in P7, Grunting in 8th. Grunting in 9th, and Chucky in 10th. It was an intense race, and I really enjoyed racing it. Hope to see you next week for the next round.